I'm a 90s kid.
Liar!
Alright, you got me. I'm an '02 baby. But it's close enough. I remember Webkins and Disney Fast Play and Catwoman. Okay, so maybe this era wasn't perfect, but we had a lot of good snacks. Specifically, I remember Grips, which were brought back pretty recently. I would absolutely shove my grandma down the stairs for some chocolate Grips right now. But the 90s and 2000s had a lot of choice. There are so many nostalgic snacks, and not all of them were in the mainstream. So, it is bestowed upon me, my God-given duty, to cover every obscure, discontinued millennial snack ever. Wait, where's Candles? Firefest 2? Really? Well, I suppose we do have someone on standby that can take over. Everybody please welcome Goldie by Lumino. Their info can be found in the description. Thanks, disembodied voice. Now let's get right into it. The try not to push your grandma down the stairs for some 90s snacks challenge impossible.
2 to the 1 to the 3. I like good pussy and I like good tree.
Whistle Pops were introduced in 1975.
What did he say?
Yes, this is a video about millennial snacks. You have not been deceived. But these first few ended up being older than anticipated. Whistle Pops were manufactured by the Spangler Candy Company, beginning in 1975. They're lollipops that are designed to make a whistling sound when you blow into them, kind of like a whistle. The thing is, there's not much information on the original Whistle Pop. All we have is this user on Reddit, who describes his experience with Whistle Pops. They tasted good, but they were almost always broken. It's like there was a guy at the end of the assembly line whose job it was to pick the wrapped candies up and smack them against stuff to break them and disappoint kids. Sounds about right. These are a novel idea, and would likely require very specific molds in order to create that whistling chamber. Whistle Pops lasted a good couple of decades, but were eventually sold to a company called Chupa Chups. They were discontinued for a few years before being reformulated to Melody Pops. They appear to have the same basic idea. Blow into the hole and you get music. They're marketed with the tagline, "Play real music." If a stupid 6-year-old blowing into a piece of candy is real music, then I'm Hans fucking Zimmer.
In the black.
Actually, wait, there is something different about Melody Pops, from my source. The Melody Pops handle contains a slide whistle-like plunger. Each lollipop's inner wrapper has sheet music printed on it. Each note is numbered, so the whistler can change the notes they play by sliding the plunger up and down to the different numbers engraved on the plunger. You're putting a lot of faith in my musical abilities, sir. Nutritional facts. Serving size. 1 pop. 60 calories, 0 sodium, 14 carbs, 12 of those are sugar, and 0 protein. Honestly, I'm surprised it's only 60 calories. Apparently, some pharmacies in the UK still stock the original Whistle Pops, somehow. Like they have a backlog of them or something. From Reddit, UK sells strawberry multi-packs too. However, you no longer get an extra sheet of plastic with notes and a song. I was a bit miffed. It might have been missing the 5 notes on the stick too. Still tastes the same though. If it seems weird that I'm pulling some of my information from random Reddit threads, there's a good reason for that. A lot of this candy is shockingly light on information from the web. I wasn't lying when I said obscure. Believe me, I've gone to great lengths to scour for this information. I've even searched through the Internet Archive for some of this stuff. So, some of these might be light on the explanation.
Gregory, do you see that small vent on the floor?
Bop it, twist it, squeeze it. Squeeze It was a fruit-flavored juice drink produced by General Mills beginning in 1985 and ending in 2001, with a few short reintroductions here and there. The drink came in a plastic bottle that the drinker would then squeeze to get the liquid out, hence the name. Squeeze the fun out of it, as they say. Now, this is one that I do actually remember loving as a kid. I think we always bought a knockoff brand, as the name Squeeze It isn't familiar to me. But it was the way the drink sat in your hand that was so appealing. Rather than a concealed can with a questionable amount of liquid, Squeeze-Its were more like see-through plastic pouches, where you could really feel just how much drink there was. it was heavy by volume. There were a lot of different flavors of Squeeze-Its. Let's see if I can say all these names with a straight face. Chucklin' Cherry, Berry Be Wild, Grumpy Grape, Silly Billy Strawberry, Rockin' Red Puncher, Mean Green Puncher, Smarty Arty Orange, and Troppy Tropical Punch. Like, what's the point of these goofy ass names anyway? No kid ever walked up to their unk and said, "Can I have a Silly Billy Strawberry?" He would have been dropkicked into next week. Each flavor had a different character etched into the bottle, like we ever noticed that. Now, this is something I do not remember, and it's what leads me to believe that my family always bought the knockoff. Apparently, Squeeze-Its also came in these special packs that contained pellets that you would drop into the drink and watch it change colors. If you know anything about discontinued things, the word pellet should trip an alarm. Any product that contains a small BB gun pellet of some kind will soon be discontinued due to a possible choking hazard. My source doesn't specify that's what happened, but we can almost assume that that's what happened. For a short time, there was also a mystery flavor. Can you guess which color the mystery drinks would come in? Did you guess anything normal? Because you're wrong. They only came in black. The mystery flavor was always changing. We know at least one of these was kiwi strawberry, which, to be fair, is pretty damn normal. You also had Lifesaver Squeeze-Its at some point, including flavors like wild watermelon, blue raspberry, and tropical fruit. Finally, some normal names. I feel like Greg Heffley ordering his drummies. Now, there was a UK version of Squeeze-Its called Twist and Squeeze, sold in pretty much the same flavors and bottles. This version of the squeeze drink is still available, but ironically, they're only available under the name Squeeze-It. So we've pretty much come full circle. They're manufactured by a company called
DOPPELKUPPLUNG.
Another contender for the title of "Why is this one in this video?" Information? Nothing. Not even a goddamn commercial, which is extremely disappointing to my OCD. But I'll try. In the 90's, don't even know which year it came out, Hubba Bubba produced a sugar-free gum called Ouch Gum. It was available in the flavors of grape, watermelon, and strawberry. Kudos for having some restraint there. The gimmick here was that each stick of gum was wrapped with paper to make it look like a bandage. These were packaged in little boxes that looked like boxes of Band-Aids. I can only guess that some stupid CEO looked at their numbers and said,
"My kid's always reaching for the medicine cabinet to swallow something he shouldn't. Let's give him what he wants."
In October of 2009, the gum was redesigned with a new look and flavor, and they added a revolutionary new flavor. Any guesses? It was the flavor of bubblegum. Ah yes, I take the gum, and we make it taste like gum. At least each pack came with a collectible game inside. So these were discontinued in an unspecified year, but we do know that they've been brought back in some capacity, and one user on Reddit was able to acquire one. I saw these at Barnes & Noble just yesterday, and I had to buy it. It was so nostalgic until I actually tried a piece, lol. Safe to say the flavors were disappointing and do not taste like the old ones, which I should have expected because they aren't Hubba Bubba. It was just extremely artificial, like the strawberry one tasted like Nesquik strawberry milk, which I'm pretty sure is not what the original tasted like. But the tin is still really cool and nostalgic, so I guess there's that. I wonder if anyone ever reached into a pack of Ouch Gum, thinking it was actually Band-Aids, and tried to put one on like a Band-Aid. That would be pretty gross. Maynard's Juicy Squirts. Now, I could devolve into the most lowbrow humor here, and I will.
Oh my, I can't control my goo!
Look, I'm sorry, but the candy is called Maynard's Juicy Squirts. What do you honestly expect me to do?
Goo!
Juicy Squirts are fruit-flavored gummies with a juicy center. And rather than dive straight into a Wikipedia page, there is no such thing here. Instead, I've opted for a more personal, intimate review of Maynard's Juicy Squirts, from a non-fan of the candy. When I opened the bag, The gummies had a fresh, tangy smell, with a hint of that concentrated apple juice flavor you always get with real fruit gummies. What, did you think you were actually getting cherry juice in your cherry-flavored gummy? They weren't really very pretty. The shapes of them were pretty much lost under the coating of sour sugar. The label doesn't identify the flavors, but does proclaim that the squirts are, quote, made with real fruit juice. Rather than the juicy center being nestled in the middle of the gummy where you'd assume it would be, the pocket of liquid is right at the top of each candy, contained only by a thin layer of gummy. When the liquid layer is squished by your fingers or in your mouth, the effect is similar to squeezing a big old blister until the liquid inside comes bursting out. Trying to keep all blister-related thoughts out of my mind, I settled down to do some tasting. Their texture was pretty firm, with a little of that doughy texture you get from licorice. Except for, yes, that squishy pocket of juice. There wasn't really very much liquid in there, and you have to bite down on them at a certain angle to make them actually squirt. But the juice mingled with the gummy as I chewed, resulting in a sort of interesting, wetter than usual texture. I think we've heard enough from Anton Ego here. They go on to describe the different flavors. You know, red tastes like sour cherry and cough syrup. Red number 2 is raspberry and lemon. Green is sour apple and strawberry. And purple is grape and watermelon. They're dual flavored because each juicy squirt has a differently flavored shell from its squirt. In summary, these were just okay, and I don't think I'd go out of my way to buy them again, unless I wanted a bag of gummy blisters to gross out my little cousins with.
Come.
From the screen to the ring to the pen to the king, where's my crown?
Lifesavers Holes was probably a pleasant surprise when it came onto the scene in 1990. Selling the little donut hole-shaped lifesavers that were extruded from the main product is just a smart business move. The flavors were fruity to say the least. Island fruits, sunshine fruits, and an outrageously fruity mix. Okay, so I'm not sure what the differences are here.
So I am confusion.
These candies were sold in plastic fill-top tubes, seen today with mini M&Ms. Mini M&Ms might be my all-time favorite candy because the packaging does influence how you eat the product. I think most people shotgun mini M&Ms, so the same was probably done to Lifesavers Holes. And it seems that this is correct. These were great, totally forgot about them, and if you're a food psychopath, very easy to inhale the entire bottle like drinking a shot. Speaking of which, the packaging was designed to be portable and easy to fit into your pocket on the go, but it also proved to be a costly mistake. The soft, narrow plastic tops ended up being just the right size for children to accidentally. According to a report by the Chicago Tribune at the time, Lifesavers were called Holes in January 1991, following reports that several children gagged on the packaging. More specifically, children ages 2 to 3 and a few teenagers had bitten the caps off of the packaging and chewed, swallowed, or gagged on them, though no serious injuries were reported. Children ages 2 to 3 make sense, and then you jump forward 10 years or so to a few teenagers, who were probably acting like 2 to 3-year-olds. While the line had sold over 40 million products, the recall affected all Lifesavers Holes products, pulling them off the shelves and from all distribution channels at the time. The candies were recalled with the intention of relaunching with new, safer packaging within 90 days. The candies did come back 4 months later, but had lost their momentum. So, they were soon after discontinued completely. It sounds like these were some truly dangerous candies. Another Reddit user recalls, "Remember when a classmate of mine cut the tube and used a balloon to make the improvised BB gun, and then broke one of the school windows?" Another author describes them as edible ammunition for the BB guns that were our mouths. Trust me, no kid who ate Lifesavers Holes could resist spitting them out like rapid-fire bullets for long. So we're literally just producing potential weapons here. Contrasted with its nefarious uses in the classroom, the marketing was sweet and innocent. These commercials were created by Pixar, which explains how they were able to create such emotive 3D models, playing at the beach, building sandcastles, and running from the tide.
Try new Lifesavers Holes. Watch out for holes. They're gonna be everywhere.
Watch out for holes. Tell that to this guy.
It's all coming.
I'm in a drive-thru a Burger King. Can I please get a Waffle Junior with onion rings?
Okay, this one has a really interesting reason for discontinuation. These are Grizzly Chomps. Released in 1991 by Hostess, a Grizzly Chomp consisted of two 97% fat-free chocolate cupcakes, with colored sprinkles on top. It's pretty basic. But wait, we're not done. What makes Grizzly Chomps so disgustingly unique is the design element of a single bite being taken out of every single cookie.
Was that the bite of 83?
Because you see, the implication from the commercials is that the Grizzly Chomps bear would actually take a bite out of each product before sending it on its way. We had the first bite, now you finish it. It's a really unique idea, and I applaud them for trying something new and creative. Unfortunately, this flies in the face of decades of consumer data. Historically, taking a bite out of something before selling it generally makes it less appealing. I mean, obviously no one actually takes a bite out of these things. There's not literally a cartoon bear infecting these cookies with E. coli. But the psychology of eating something that looks already bitten down on isn't great. Most consumers just couldn't stomach it. Not to mention, you are literally getting less food. You think the factory kept all the cookie they bit off? It was probably just thrown away. Because of these reasons, the product ended up in the Traveling Museum of Failure, alongside Colgate Lasagna and Coca-Cola Black. Hey, we know that one. It only lasted a few years on store shelves. Apparently, they also had merch, which included a hat with a bite taken out of it. Ugh, all these disgusting companies, pushing their merch on people, it's disgusting. I don't see the reason this didn't catch on. That's pretty funny, albeit non-functional. Although the bite hole doesn't exactly look like a bite mark, it looks like someone punched a hole in it with their fist. Perhaps the most, poignant summary we can give is from this Reddit user. That mascot looks fucking weird, I don't like him at all. Well, I see someone isn't a furry.
Hey, been a while since I saw my face. I haven't been doing so great, so I feel a little great. So a lot of people are saying some things about me that aren't quite true. It doesn't matter if it's true though. It's just as long as it's entertaining to you. Right? You guys having fun? All aboard!
In the 90s, the neon color trend was in full swing. Fashion, architecture, and entertainment were all some variation of puke green and slime purple. For better or worse, this color palette also made its way into our food with Pop Quiz. Introduced in 1991 by Pop Secret, this neon-colored popcorn was a rousing failure. Only lasted 3 years. But the time it was on the shelves was pretty interesting. The popcorn came in 6 different colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. The catch was that you didn't know what color you were going to get until you popped it. Look, sweetie, it's popcorn that changes colors in the microwave. Thanks, you're the best mom ever. Oh, it's done. Let's see what color we got. Oh, it's yellow. The quiz part of the name is in reference to the trivia games that came printed on the popcorn bags. Each bag had a riddle, trivia question, or puzzle to solve. It's nice that the colors weren't the only gimmick here, although printing games onto the packaging isn't entirely unique by today's standards. And not everyone was absolutely blown away by this product, really. The Impulsive Buy writes in their 2017 retrospective review, "The popcorn tasted like flavorless styrofoam, and the bag held little more than a handful of popcorn." Another comment from Reddit, "Haha, they're butt flavored."
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
The duality of man in these quotes. Couple more things about Pop Quiz. Like a lot of these millennial era products, they felt the need to include a mystery flavor. Except that doesn't really make sense. I was under the impression that every flavor tasted like styrofoam. This may be a Fruit Loop situation where people falsely believe that each color is a different flavor. The marketing is also pretty bland. Quote, "The commercial for Pop Quiz had D-rate Zach Morris wearing a jacket I swear I owned, zany music, and a bunch of kids trying to win the quiz, by guessing which color would pop up next."
I'm Plato, the host of Pop Secret Pop Quiz. It's a great tasting pop.
Yeah, he's not breaking any records with this one. Kids bop looking ass. Wow, this commercial is so high quality. It's like I can see every pixel.
My name is Dan, and my name's Rose. Our son Wesley kinda glows.
The year 1991 was a banner one for the launch of Betty Crocker snacks. While Gushers is still going strong today and even playing into the nostalgia of the times, equally memorable were the Sodalicious Soda Pop fruit snacks. These snacks were shaped like soda bottles, and to mimic the taste of the bubbly liquids, had a special coating that released a tangy tingle. Whoever wrote that was way too excited about Sodalicious. This kind of candy is nothing new. We have soda bottle shaped candy in every Dollar General in 2025. But like many snacks from this era, they just had better flavors instead of mass-consumed corn syrup. They were incredible. It was like drinking a soda without the liquid. They were perfection in a candy. Nothing like this will ever exist again. One of the best candies of all time. I'm actually a small fan of the wax bottles we have today, but I do admit it sure would be nice if we were able to eat the entire thing, and that's what makes Sodalicious stand out. You could pop them in your mouth and just eat the whole thing, and the coating of these gummies is what makes the taste so extraordinary. As someone who never had them, I'm imagining a dusting of, like, Pop Rocks on the surface of these things. Probably not entirely accurate, but it does give you a good idea of the outer layer of these things. There were only 2 varieties of Sodalicious. There was a fruity set that included lemon lime, red fruit punch, and grape. Then there was the more traditional soda-based set with cherry cola, orange cola, and yes, root beer. The absolute restraint I'm holding right now. I do not want to go for the most obvious meme. Again, not much else is known about these things. The problem with doing a 90s-centric video is that a lot of these products just don't have a lot of information on them, especially since most of them lasted for a very short time. Something like soda is a bit more universal, and people have gone to great lengths to recover lost information on things like Pepsi Kona and Coca-Cola Black. Really, the only thing we know about the discontinuation of Sodalicious is that the fruit variety disappeared first, with the soda mix following 3 years after. One reason might offer us an incredibly simple explanation. There's just better versions of this candy from competing manufacturers. Haribo has Happy Cola, Jelly Belly has Soda Pop Shop, Hi-Chew has their own soda-flavored candy, and there's also those Jolly Rancher-esque barrels that offer the taste of root beer. And that one's pretty accurate. Turns out, soda-flavored candy is already a hot commodity, and only the strong survive.
Certified lover boy, certified pedophile. Wop, 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 girl, fuck him up.
I'm sorry, but this one is revolting.
Bam!
Oh, wow. I've got a lot of questions.
Yeah, me too.
Sure, go ahead.
Now, Charlie, did you take all of my money and invest it in a box full of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pies?
Yes!
I have a friend who's a huge TMNT fan, and I really don't know what he thinks of these, or if he was even alive when these came out. Probably not. But these do look absolutely disgusting. This, ladies and gentlemen, is not a fruit pie. This is a pudding pie. Released in 1991, Hostess, known for its zingers and its ding-dongs, decided to get wacky with it. They created the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pudding pies. This was the first licensing deal in the history of the company, and wow, what a start. You know, I'd much rather see a collab with, I don't know, Transformers.
Boobies.
The actual pies consisted of a green-coated shell and was stuffed with vanilla pudding. Or, I'm sorry, vanilla pudding power. The packaging featured 4 unique designs, one for each turt. The thing about these pies is that they were only meant to exist for an incredibly limited run, just 20 weeks. So they weren't really discontinued, more so forgotten. But not really, because despite only being available for the length of a Phineas and Ferb summer, everybody wants these back. I'm 41 and I remember these well. Can literally taste them just by seeing the picture. Ate a bunch of these. Wish they'd bring these back. TMNT was my life at the time.
Wow, sounds like your life sucks.
Not so fast, as it seems the company responsible for the pudding had a bit of a mental breakdown. Please note that we are a nut butter company and not a pudding manufacturer. While we offer a vanilla pudding power cashew butter, it's essential to understand that the texture is not that of conventional pudding. Instead, it resembles whipped frosting, characterized by a creamy, fluffy, and incredibly smooth consistency. The flavor profile of our vanilla pudding power cashew butter is as close to vanilla pudding as we could possibly get, boasting a milky sweet taste of vanilla.
That cream, pure vanilla.
Some packages came with a TMNT themed sticker inside the wrapper, which is something, I suppose. Others came with a trading card promoting the release of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 in 1991. People who purchased the pies could also send in pudding points in exchange for merchandise. According to my source, you could get t-shirts, decoder cards featuring Morse code messages, battle signal clickers, and a turtle shell-shaped belt buckle. Despite the hordes of fans clamoring for vanilla pudding power, it seems that there are no current plans to revive the product. What, you don't want bright green dyes? Are you even American?
Someone else is making devil's food cookies besides Snackwell's. Now those ladies will leave me alone.
Think they'll be anything like our Snackwells?
I hope so.
What are you trying to pull? These are nothing like my Snackwell's devil food cookies. Where's my cookie man? There he is!
One thing you never would have guessed from the previous contents of this video is the health craze of the 90s and 2000s. Crystal Pepsi, the Atkins diet, consumer interests shifted into the sleek and slim. To follow this trend, 1992 saw the release of the Snackwell's Devil Food Cookies. This particular item seems to be well remembered, as I was able to find a wealth of information on this one. Snackwell's products were marketed as a fat-free and thus healthier snack, as the US dietary guidelines of the early 1990s advocated for a reduction in the consumption of fats. Light chocolate cake rounds and a thin layer of marshmallow cream, all covered in a thin, chocolatey coating. Doesn't sound very healthy, but the box did claim that these cookies had not 1 single gram of fat anywhere inside of them. In a hilarious twist, Snackwell's Devil Food Cookies were one of the main culprits for childhood obesity directly after this health craze. And it's all because of something called the Snackwell effect. The Snackwell effect is basically the JonTron lean cuisine meme.
It's fine, it's good. It took me a while to get used to healthy eating, but I've just been sticking to eating these lean meals, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling alright.
Oh my god, how many of these did you eat?
What do you mean? You can eat as many of them as you want. It's a freaking healthy meal, dude. What are you talking about?
Dude, do you even know what a calorie is?
You being a hater?
No, I'm just trying to make sure you stay on track.
Being a hater, dude? Alright, well get that stupid camera out of my face. Get out of my house, man. You're being a hater!
An Ozempic-less middle-aged mom goes to the store and sees a promotion for a traditional dessert. This time without the stuff that makes it unhealthy. She buys 40 boxes and crushes them in a single night. Just because something is marketed as low calorie or low sugar doesn't give you the green light to just eat as much as you want. We're not all drunk college kids ordering IHOP at 4 a.m. Pay attention to the fat substitute they used. Be ready to be running for the bathroom. Yeah, apparently the cookies didn't even taste good. The Devil's Food cookie had a consistency of rubber, with an outer shell of approximated chocolate and a dry cake inside. The real devil of it all is that if you were craving something sweet, Snackwell's didn't scratch that itch. Wait, this is my favorite. The cookie cake wasn't bad, exactly, but it was never satisfying. The puck of chocolate cake was oddly airy. The marshmallow was a purely aesthetic line of white, and the chocolate was waxy and sugary, with a firm crunch. It was like eating a chocolate cupcake whose soul had been sucked out. Even with the apparently horrible taste, the Devil Food cookies sold extremely well for the years in which they were on the shelves. Between 1993 and 1996, Snackwell sold around $161 million worth of the product. This is a rare case where, despite the actual taste of the food product, the marketing was so strong that it didn't matter. But as people began to notice the ill effects of eating so many so-called healthy cookies, they quickly waned in popularity. The cookies were produced all the way until 2017, when Nabisco sold the brand to Back to Nature Foods. 2 years later, in 2019, they were re-released. With a company name like Back to Nature Foods, you think they'd double down on the whole fat-free thing, but instead they removed the health aspect entirely. And after years of constant corporate decline, Snackwell's ended all business operations in 2022. This is all pretty well summarized by a modern article written about the Devil Food cookies. Anyone can go on a diet if they want to. We all have a right to feel comfortable in our bodies and look the way we want. My axe to grind is against companies that cash in on that and perpetuate a social construct about bodies that shouldn't exist. Every company that markets diet food does not care if we lose weight, gain weight, make ourselves sick, or anything in between. So when it comes to choosing the foods I eat, my personal belief is that if you like to eat it, then eat it. But don't choose foods based on marketing strategies. That's the devil's food work.
He's releasing the files to catch all the pedophiles. Never met Epstein or touched any teen.
Yes, sometimes we're nostalgic for something that really wasn't all that great. We can't help it, it's just human nature. But looking back at these time capsules has been really fun for me. I wasn't even around for any of these. Initially, this script was going to be longer, with me covering more early 2000s products as well. Yogos, cereal straws, things that I actually remember eating. So, if you'd like to see a part 2, like the video and leave a comment. I'd like to thank everyone who submitted a character for the OC contest. There were some really amazing entries, and it was hard to pick just one. Remember, we just started our weekly Patreon streams with the Candles VTuber model, so if you'd like to get in on the ground floor with those, it's just $5 a month on Patreon, and those only become available to everyone else after 6 months. So, thank you everybody so much for watching. I love you all.
Why you trolling like a bitch? Did you tire? Trying to strike a chord? It's probably A minor.
Come.
They not like us. They not like us. They not.
Come.